Okay, one, I'm so sorry for not posting yesterday. I did do a live, but really nobody came. It was my birthday countdown, and then I went to a live today. People came wishing happy birthday. Yeah, it's my birthday. I'm turning 12 today. I'm such a minor. I feel so sorry for people who make 18 plus TikToks and I just watch them over and over again. I'm so sorry. And by the way, I knew like all this type of stuff ever since like the age of 9, I think. Yeah, 9. This is my last year on the clock because there's 12 numbers on the clock. So I'm not gonna be on the clock anymore. I'm gonna be a teenager. So you know, but besides that point, I'm gonna be trying to post 3 videos today. One to make up the video I didn't post yesterday, that is this video, and my 2 decade videos that I have to post today. Um, yeah, if you watched my one video before this, you understand the video I made about it was like a Kirishima photo, but it was like weird looking. You understand the situation, but I'm fine now. Everything's fine. But this is gonna be the backstory of Kirishima X listener teen mom. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy. You and Kirishima have been best friends ever since elementary school. It would be a lie if you said you didn't have a crush on him. Right now, you're at the age of 10 and you had to move. You was now hugging Kirishima, crying while he was trying to comfort you. Come on, you won't be gone for that long. It's only going to be for a year. He said, I know, but I don't want to move. He said, your mom and dad was looking at you like you was over dramatic, which you totally was. And Kirishima's mom and dad was looking at you so sad, like if they could feel what you was feeling right now. Eventually, it took you an hour to stop hugging him and crying, because now you finally had to go. You said your final goodbyes and went. A year later, you came back. You were so excited to see Kirishima again. Kirishima was still in the old house he was living in before you moved, so you went to his house. While walking there, many guys catcalled you. Why did I decide to wear jean shorts today? You said. You knew what was probably going to happen. You wear jean shorts all the time. But in America, where you had moved for a year, people didn't catcall you. But now that you're back in Japan, it's a little different. Just saying that. But this one catcall went way farther than you ever wanted it to go. Hey, why don't you come with me? A guy said. You ignored it because you was already mad from all the other catcalls. The whistling and all this and all that. You was annoyed, so you just ignored it. Oh, come on, don't do me like that, he said, putting a hand on your shoulder. You quickly put it off of you and started to speed walk. But little did you know, he was running right behind you. All of a sudden, you got picked up and put over your shoulders. Hey, put me down, you said, kicking and screaming. Help, 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 you said. Everybody around wanted to help you, but they couldn't. Essentially, they would have to use their quirks probably to get you off of this man. This man was a good 3'4". Yeah, you heard me. 3'4". 6'4". My bad. He was just so freaking tall. Nobody could get you off of him. Next thing you knew, he was crying in the alleyway, crying and crying. You knew exactly where he was, but right now, the way you was looking, you didn't want to get out of that alleyway. People looked at you like if you was weird or if you was a weird child or homeless. Now, Kirishima, being the manly person he is, if he hears somebody crying, he comes check them. This is when he was passing by that alleyway he was in, he looks in it and sees you crying. Listener, he says, Adriel, he said. He runs up to you and hugs you. What happened? He asks. I don't want to talk about it, he said. He picks you up. What are you doing? He said. I'm taking you back to my house, he said. He was at his house waiting for your mom to get off of work to come pick you up. Your dad was at work, but he was going to stay at work for a pretty long time. So you know your dad wasn't picking you up. You know your mom was. But that was in an hour. Your mom had gave her some of her clothes so you could put them on. Essentially, Kirishima was having to comfort you right now, making sure that you wouldn't bust out crying again. Finally, your mom comes busting through the door and hugs you. Oh my God, sweetie, are you okay? She asks. You didn't answer. You just sit there, whatever, just crying. She took this as a sign that you wasn't okay. Now, you being the person you are, kind of stubborn, you wanted to stay with Kirishima. What am I kidding? You always wanted to stay with Kirishima. You always wanted to have sleepovers with him. You was pretty much emotional support friends. The black-headed boy who was kind of quiet and had sharp teeth, you always wanted to stay around. You know, your mom being overprotective and your dad being the overprotective parents they are, wasn't going to let you. And you knew that for a fact. But you knew just a little bit more begging than you usually beg them to, they would let you. After you begged and plead for your mom to let you stay at Kirishima's house, she was like, fine. She gave Kirishima a glare to make sure that he watches you. And then she was going to go talk to his parents, talk to them about it, make sure he was okay, and left. Essentially, you didn't have clothes. So this was a little downside of it. But you knew that Kirishima was probably going to lend you one of his hoodies. He always lets you wear his hoodies whenever you stay at his house and you don't bring pajamas or anything. You and Kirishima was talking when all of a sudden your phone started ringing. You looked at the phone and saw a unknown number. Who is that? He asked. I don't know. It's an unknown number. I don't think I should answer it. But just for the sake of the person calling me, I'll answer it. Kirishima looked at you dumbfounded. He knew you could be dumb sometimes. But right now, this was dumb as can be. You answered it. Hello? He said through the phone. I hope you liked that little game we played, a guy said through the phone. You instantly hung up. Who was it? Kirishima asked. I know exactly who it was, but I needed to block him. You blocked them and put your phone down, and instantly snuggled beside Kirishima. He was a 1, blushing mess, 2, didn't know what to do. So he just instantly snuggled you back. It was kind of the only thing he could do right now. You you wanted to stay in this position for as long as you could live, but you knew that that wasn't going to happen. Essentially, you somehow fell asleep in this position with him, waking up the very next morning to see Kirishima right beside you, and somehow still a blushing mess. You giggled at his blushing form. He was now actually red, red, like black hair, red eyes, red face. Essentially, you had went back home after hours to staying at his house after you woke up, and then we kind of just talked. You knew exactly what happened. You remember every single part of it. That's kind of what you didn't want to remember, but you did. But you just forgot about it. 2 years later, you was now walking to Kirishima's house with Kirishima. You and Kirishima was hanging out at his house. You was talking with Kirishima when the same blunt number you had popped up on your phone. You instantly declined it. Kirishima looked at you confused, but then you realized what it was and understand it. You have been getting these calls multiple times for the 2 years. I mean, right now you are a 13-year-old girl who keeps getting this call from a random man who you saw 2 years ago. Did you want to talk to him again? Absolutely not. That's no, no. Just you wasn't gonna talk to him again. That would be absolutely stupidity. Right now, you're sitting at home alone. Your mom and dad, when they went to work, there was the hour where you was home alone. But then, soon after, your dad would come home. Your mom would leave 1 hour before your dad gets off of work, and then your dad would come home after that hour. It had been 30 minutes, and you was right now playing games on your TV, on your Xbox. When all of a sudden you got a knock on your door. Who is it? You said. Somebody you know. You was confused. This was kind of like Sleeping Beauty. How you sincerely didn't want to open your door at the moment. But he said somebody you know. And you being the dumbass person you are, you opened the door. You did. You opened the stupid door, and you opening that door, you regret to this day. Okay? Because as soon as you opened that door, a man came busting through. Now, isn't it so nice to see listener again? He said. He all of a sudden picks you up and pins you to the wall. Next thing you know, on your bed, crying your eyeballs out. How could your stupidity get to you? This man's voice low-key sounded like Kirishima's. So what did you do? You thought it was Kirishima. But you being the stupid person, you didn't ask exactly for the name. So you opening the door right there, right now, it just happened to you again. Your father comes home and asks for you. Listen, are you home? He asks. I'm up here, he said. Him hearing your voice, he runs upstairs and looks at you, butt naked, crying. Your room looked like a train wreck. And it was just so messy. When he left home, he knew your room didn't look like this. So he knew somebody came in here. Sweetie, what happened? He asked. He 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 came back, you said. Who came back? He asked. The guy that... After saying that, he knew you couldn't muster the words. Just tell me how long ago when this guy first met you, he asked. Um, 2 years ago, you said, and it hit him. Right then, right there. It was the guy that did it to you again. Just fucking great, he said. He helps you up, put clothes on, and just sits there. After your mom got home, he talked to your mom about it, and you was officially not allowed to stay home alone. And if you went to a friend's house or anything, specifically Kirishima, you would have to go. His parents had to have to be home, which his dad was the only one who worked at his house. His mom was there 24/7. Right now, he was over the toilet throwing up. A month later, after this happened, you had been throwing up constantly in the morning. Your mom knew exactly what these symptoms were, but she didn't want to, overguess it, I guess. So what she did was just pray you wasn't. 1 month later, you was eating more than usual, still nauseous, and your stomach looked like it was getting a little bit bigger. So your mom knew she had to do something. She went upstairs in the bathroom and told you to come up there. Hey, sweetie, can you come up here real quick? She asked. Sure. You got up off the couch where you was laying down at, because you was sick, of course, and went upstairs to where your mom was in the bathroom. What you need me for, Mom? You asked. I want you to take this for me. She has pregnancy tests. You looked at it. You knew exactly what was going through her head. She thought you was pregnant. It's obvious. You quickly grabbed the test and told her to get out. It wasn't harsh, but it was a little bit of frantic and panicking. She understood what she was feeling, so she closed the door. It had been 10 minutes of you quietly sobbing. Your mom had told you to come down when you was ready to show us, which you clearly already know the answer because you was crying. You got up, wiped your eyes off, put cold water on your face, and you ran downstairs, gave your mom the test, and ran back up, not saying anything. She looked at the test and sighed. I should have known this was going to happen, she said. She looks at your father, hands him the test, and now he was mad. He goes to the police, tells them everything. Now, here's where the bad part comes. Your father thought you was going to abort the child. You being the dumb but kind-hearted person you are, wanted to keep it because no child should go through that. Your mother and father came up to your room and asked you a question. Right now, you is currently 3 months into the pregnancy. So, sweetie, are you going to keep the child or are you just going to abort it? Your mother asked. It's obvious she's going to abort it, your father said. You looked at him stunned. Father, I'm keeping it. He spit out the water he was drinking. You're what? You are aborting that child as soon as it's born, he said. But why? It's my child, I said. You said. This is where a fight was about to unbreak, and your mother had to pull your father out. Next thing you knew, they was arguing. They had been arguing a little bit about this situation multiple times, about if you wanted to keep the child and if you didn't want to keep the child, and it was completely your decision. Your mother said she would stay by your side no matter what happens. Your father, on the other hand, didn't say that. He didn't say anything about that. He loved you, so he didn't bring the topic up unless you wanted to bring the topic up. But now you knew the next thing was going to happen. Your father's going to, one, leave, or two, forcibly make you lose the child that was in your stomach right here, right now. And what he did was leave. You don't know why. It was your child. It's not like he's a father. I mean, yeah, he might not be ready to be a grandfather. But either way, your mother is crying because now she had a divorce. The man that she loved. But she knew that it was your fault, but she wasn't going to hold that against you. She was going to love you into every step of the way. Right now, you're at Kirishima's house with your kid, who would always call him Kirishima. It was because he couldn't pronounce the name right. He always was like, Kirishima! And was so happy. At the time right now, your son was about 3 years old. And you was about to take your entrance exam. Whippy! Entrance exam. For what? UA. You wasn't gonna let your child get in the way of your dreams. You was gonna still take care of your child while being a hero. After the entrance exams, you was wore out as can be. Pretty much to the point where if you could literally just teleport home and flop onto your bed, you would. As soon as you got home, you got up to your room and flopped on your bed. Until you felt a good 60 pounds go onto your back. Oh, you said. You looked behind you to see your son on your back. Mommy, guess what? Guess what I did? Guess what I did? He said. What did you do? You asked. You asked. I played dinosaurs with Grandma, and then Grandma showed me old baby pictures of you. For him being 3, he could speak really well. And that's when you hesitated. Baby pictures of you to a 3-year-old? Is this woman crazy? 1 week later, you finally got your letter. Looking at the hologram, you was in first place. That's why a certain angry blonde was mad at you. But you saw that Kirishima was in 5th, and you was pretty happy. You was able to be in UA, most likely with your best friend who you might have a slight crush on. You're now in your second year and you have a whole life ahead of you. I'm sorry about some of the background noises. I think it was first my phone, then my dog, then my mom, then my phone again, and yeah, and then my mom again. So, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will post, I promise, there will be 2 Deku videos of today, and then that's the ending of my posting today. I don't know if they're going to be late or not, but like, this is probably the earliest I'm going to post on my post schedule. But I hope you guys enjoy. Have a wonderful day. Bye.